Well, welcome back, guys. We're outside today and we're gonna build something using this cooler, old cooler, some scrap wood I've collected. It's from like a wood reel place. They make wooden reels. So we're gonna build a cooler, like a holder table. I got a bunch of this stuff. We're gonna try to just do it with scrap and hand tools. I'm not really a carpenter, so we'll see how it works out. And we'll dig through this. Got several ideas. And I had a few ideas. I have this square piece. This is the part they nail before they cut it into a circle. Now I'm gonna try to trim it out as a square. Then we're gonna figure out where we're gonna put this, cut it to fit inside. Which we're gonna have to take these handles off, which nicely these are screwed on. The drain piece, I'm not sure. I see people extending it out, which I may not. I may just make like a little door or just leave it open a little bit where you can drain it. We'll see when we get to that part. Mainly just doing it with things I have laying around. No sense going out and buying stuff right now. It's just so expensive. If you can't get this kind of stuff, which most people probably don't unless they work at a place like that, you can go to appliance stores or hardware stores, anything like that, see if they have any pallets, and you can just break them down pretty easily and build it. This is just what I'm working with. So let me get all these screws off, and the lid, we'll probably maybe build like a little, not really sure, might just have to glue strips onto it, because this lid is pretty thin. It's a real thin lid. So let me get the screw gun, we'll get all these screws off and see what we got. Milwaukee power tools are awesome. I use them so much. They are a little pricey, but the warranty is worth it. A lanyard. Probably just a hinge. If you do get an impact driver, make sure you get impact bits. The other bits, you'll just blow them apart. It looks like this one, yeah. It looks like you can unscrew this. So I may be able to leave a spot for it and go to the hardware store. I got a hardware store by me, and the guy's pretty knowledgeable on all this plumbing stuff. We may be able to find like an extension or something to make a valve that goes out to the side. I'll hang on to that. Coolers nowadays don't have this stuff. It's a neat design where you can add on to it. So we can put all this to the side. We got the main cooler part. But then we'll be able to put it here. And we'll be able to get like a rough tracing around it, which we'll have to do. It looks pretty good. I may just square up this wood because it's nailed together. So, and then they'll come in with like a router and just cut the circle so they don't need all these squares. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out how much I want around it. I'm gonna mark it, and I'm just gonna cut these. Hopefully not hit any of the nails, which kind of bothers. There's a bunch of nails. If we can get away without hitting any of the nails, we should be all right. Let me get the circular saw. And I don't cut very straight, so I'll put something across here and I'll clamp it with some clamps where I can run the saw real straight. They do sell the little saw guides, which is pretty neat. I need to get one. Right now I just have a 4-foot level, metal level, and 2 clamps. All right, this side, it doesn't really have a straight edge anywhere, so I clamp my level one here. I'm just gonna cut me a straight edge, then I'll measure off it that way. Try to get around the nails, hopefully I did. I'm in the process of upgrading I got this Porter cable saw, which I need to get me a Milwaukee one, because I have quite a few Milwaukee stuff, so if you're watching Milwaukee, you can send me a saw. But anyway, we'll get this cut out, flip it around. When you're cutting, make sure you don't get your sawhorses, your blazing to stick down. So I'm gonna have to stick a 2x4 something under here. Actually probably just pull it out a bit, because I don't want to cut my sawhorses and I'll mess up my blade. The only reason I'm using this, I bought a Makita worm drive saw. The second cut, where it attaches, where your blade guide raised something down, it broke right off, because it's just plastic. Now that was pretty disappointing. I've always wanted one of those saws for a while, and then you get one and then it fell right apart. What's up with that? Don't have to be perfect, it's gonna be, rustic. And like I said, I am definitely not a woodworker. One good thing to have is some clamps. These are just some cheap clamps at I think Lowe's. But can't have too many clamps. Or work surfaces apparently. Now we got ourselves an edge we can pull off of, pull our measurements. I was thinking about leaving pretty much a little lip edge all the way around, so you can set stuff on it, things like that. In the future I may make one with one of the bigger round ones. We'll cut a square in the center of the round, so it'd be like a round table with a cooler in the center. I think that'd be neat. Depending on how good I can, how we can get this to work. So I'm just gonna brad them down. This on the edges. Just keep them from falling off while we're working. This is the Milwaukee brad nailer. Just got it the other day. I like it so far. Ain't got cords, air compressors, all that. Pretty quiet. Which we're sticking out the bottom because I'm running 1.5 inches, which will be all right because we're putting a lip around the edge. The next thing, we're gonna have to put a hole for a cooler. And this cooler's got some taper and all that stuff. But we'll probably put a hole, we'll let it stick up just a hair, right to this white edge. Just be careful, don't put your hand under it and shoot it, because if they are a little long, you're gonna nail your hand to your piece. So that's why I found, well, this is the first time building one, but that's why I think will be good is I'm gonna center it on the piece and then trace out my line. believe I was 7.5 this way, which will take me a little bit. I'll get that going. All right, I changed my mind. I'm gonna bring the cooler towards the back a little bit, so there's a bit of a bigger lip in the front and the sides, because the back will probably go against the wall or something like that on a porch. So I got my line traced out. I'm gonna try to cut it with a circular saw, the main part of it, and then jigsaw it out. It looks like it has rounded corners. Let's see what we can do about that. Make sure you stop right before your radius curves, otherwise you're gonna make it square. Gotta forgive my camera angles. Every time I restart the camera, it zooms it in, and I always forget it does that. The good thing is they didn't put glue in there, so that one piece come right out. Now I'm just gonna have to get the jigsaw. I'm trying to run a power cord because I don't have a battery running yet, because that stuff gets pricey. All right, I got my jigsaw. This is the cheap one. I never really use jigsaws a whole lot. Hopefully the blade's long enough. Almost. Problem corner where the nail is. Hopefully we get around it. All right, there's the hole. You get your little work area in the front. Drink holder, whatnot, and your hinges will be in the back and the side areas for this extra room. I don't expect this to fit. I'll have to probably do a little trimming, but never mind. Fits how I wanted it. That hardly ever comes out, but I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, so that's pretty neat right there. I mean, we'll have to. I figured the lid part might be a little bit of a pain in the ass, because we'll have to. I'm still not sure yet how we're gonna do that. I don't really want to run screws through the lid, but might have to just get in the wood, or if we can build some kind of flat part around it. But that is pretty neat right there. I'm definitely liking that. That fit right in there. To the next part, let me get this out of the way, and actually I guess we could flip it upside down and work from there. Now I want to put feet, legs, which I'm kind of making this up as I go, so I think I have some 2x4s laying around. Kind of like we just box the corner, which I may just do that, honestly. That might be bad, not too bad. If I can find enough longer pieces, and we'll just, the edge isn't the truest on that. I may have to put a block of 2x4 in here, screw it down pretty good, give you more of a meat to screw to, because this is pretty thin. You fill it with ice and people leaning on it and things like that. You gotta be careful. Let's see if I can find, I'm gonna need 6 of these, ain't I? No, 8. 8 of them. All right, I managed to find 8 roughly the same size. Which, that's just dirt. But we'll be able to put them right here in the corners. Make 4 legs. And I got a bunch of other little pieces. Maybe be able to make a shelf in here. All right, I cut some little squares so I can put in the corners. And then I can screw them down. And that'll give me, say, 2x4 is an inch and what? 3/4. 3/4 thick plus inch and 3/8. So it should be enough where I can get a nice bit in there. And if I have to at the very bottom part, I cut some more right where it's gonna 90. And maybe that'll help out. All right, I grabbed some a little bit shorter ones. I'm gonna use some liquid nails. Fortunately, I only have this giant ass tube. That's what I'm gonna use. A good idea is to trace whatever you're gonna put glue underneath so that you know where you're putting it. Then just put a little dab up under there and you ain't gonna worry about, say a little dab, I just put a giant ass dab. Forgot about that. And glue all over me. The trick is, which I might just put them like this, tack them with the brad gun, so I can get them even, and then put them on there. Screws is the way to go. Sometimes you want a pre-drill too, though. It can crack. All right, guys, we got the legs on. They're gonna be maybe a little longer and a little not straightish. Kind of hard to be working out here in the ground and stuff. This one's on a rock. All right, we moved on to the back porch where I have a little more level surface to work with. I put these cross members in, and now I just got some planks I'm just laying down across the bottom, seeing if I have enough. And seeing how kind of square it is, which I'm gonna end up with a odd space. I'll probably just notch it where it'll fit down in there. But it doesn't look too bad where it's at. I kind of lined up and all. I just come from the top down, I just come 2 foot. This thing's pretty great now. It's almost as fast as an air gun, but quieter, way handier. All right, I'm gonna figure out which one of these are kind of decent, and then I'm gonna get it notched to fit this little space, and See what we want to do here. Well, still not sure what I want to do right there, because I'll have to notch it. I may do one across here and one across there, just to make it look a little better. So, I won't bore you with the notching and stuff, because I'll probably screw up anyway. I'm gonna have to put it in there, kind of trace. Give me a little notch, get that put in there. All right, I got the piece. Drop it in here. It sticks out a tiny bit, but I'm really not. It really doesn't bother me, really. It seems pretty neat. There's a little extra room. I think that'll be all right. Knock L glasses off face. Ah. Pretty good. This one's a little thinner than this one, but I mean, like I said, rustic, just scrap wood. So we got what we can. We got to work. We work with what we got. All right, so there's the bottom on there. Now I'm going to cut. I'll have to take one of these and do the same thing. We'll have to notch it where it'll fit up around that block we put underneath, steady it up, which I don't know. We get it in on here across the front. I think that's what we'll do. I think it'll look a little better. All right, I think that looks a little better. Just kind of running along the side, makes it a little thicker, look a little bit better. So that's about what I got on this. Probably sand it a little bit. Where I got these gaps, I like to get some wood glue. What you do is you get some sawdust. Not sawdust. And when you sand this, you get the shavings from the sanding, and you mix it with the wood glue, and you fill in your holes. And once it dries, it pretty much looks the same, and you can sand it if you want to go that far. But a lot of people like a rustic, you know, it's got the cracks and it's old. It makes it look older, but it's fairly stout. I guess I'll run a piece across the back, possibly. I don't know, because it's just going to be in the back. It's going to be up against something. But I may do it anyway just to make it look better. I mean, I'm not going to have a finished thing for you guys, because it could never end. You could sand it, you could burn, etch, whatever you want to do. But it didn't take me too long. Maybe, I don't know, 2 hours maybe. It's a little bit slower when you got to film, but it didn't come out too bad. You got your shelf on the bottom, it's 2 foot down. Got this little skirt around the side to kind of hide your cooler a bit. The drain thing, I'm not sure yet. May have to go to the hardware store, like I was saying, and see if we can find like an extension for it. But if not, it's no big deal. You can just either push the cooler up out of there or just drain it out off the side. Because in reality, you're probably not going to use it every single day. So, but appreciate you guys for watching, and like and subscribe, and hey Milwaukee. Anyway, you guys have a good one, and enjoy the weather while you can. Stay safe.